welcome to my sewing room. One of the purposes of my YouTube channel is to encourage beginner sewers to take on new challenges. I took my own advice when I selected this BurdaStyle magazine pattern as my next project. These pants have cargo pockets, and I realized I'd never done cargo pockets. Now, if you subscribe to this channel, and I hope you do, you know I love BurdaStyle magazine patterns. But BurdaStyle magazine is known for its vague instructions. The instructions are translated from German, and sometimes the semantics don't quite match up. And you can't get any help from illustrations, because in most cases there aren't any. I've been sewing since 7th grade, but I still like having printed instructions next to me. So, I'm going to sew my first cargo pocket. If it turns out well, we can call it a tutorial. If it tanks, we can call it a cautionary tale. Either way, there's something to be learned from this adventure. There are two main pattern pieces to this cargo pocket: the pocket and the side fold strip for the pocket. There's also a flap, but we're not dealing with that in this video. The first step was to clean finish all of the edges of the pocket pieces. To make the pocket facing, I marked 2 1/4 inches down from the top edge. I marked the seam allowance on the bottom edge. Then I folded and pressed the pocket pieces along those lines. I clean finished the short ends of the side fold strip for the pocket. Since there were 4 pieces, I chain stitched these edges to save time. I marked and pressed down the seam allowances on the side fold strips for the pocket. These seam allowances were also stitched into place after being pressed. Luckily, the pocket piece and the side fold strip for the pocket came out to be the same size. So far, so good. The seam allowance of one lengthwise edge was pressed to the inside. Then the side fold strips were pinned and sewn to the edges of the pocket. The seam allowances were trimmed to reduce bulk. Since this cargo pocket was new to me, I tried to follow the instructions to the letter. The problems that came up were not with the actual sewing, but with the way I understood the directions. According to the instructions, I'm supposed to lay facing at upper pocket edge to inside and sew on at joining seam of side fold strip. This was a little unclear to me, so this is what I did. I folded the pocket facing down and stitched in the ditch to hold it in place. Next, I folded the side strips right sides together and pressed. Then I pinned the side strips in place. When I sewed the side strips in place, I used my edge stitch foot. I love my edge stitch foot. The results look so good. The instructions said, make fold at top and bottom, pin. Stitch across upper pocket edge by about 3/8 of an inch. When I read stitch across upper pocket edge, I thought it meant the entire upper pocket edge, so that's what I did. I measured and marked 3/8 of an inch from the top of the pocket edge and stitched. As I was doing this, I wondered why didn't they have me stitch the pocket edge before sewing the pocket onto the pants? That would have been so much easier. But I convinced myself Burda knows best, so I moved on and stitched the lower edge of the pocket. The instructions called for angled stitching at the corners of the pocket, so I did that. Then it hit me. Nothing is holding the upper edges of the pocket in place. I went back to the instructions and realized they meant stitch across the upper edges of pocket for about 3/8 of an inch. Now it made sense. That's how the upper edges of the pocket are held into place. A little diagram, a different choice of words in the translation would have helped a lot. I sewed my first cargo pocket, and I sewed it using BurdaStyle magazine unclear and unillustrated directions. So I did it. I sewed my first cargo pocket. And what did I learn? I already knew the limitations of BurdaStyle instructions, but things that are as clear as mud can become crystal clear as you work through the process and keep an open mind. Lesson number 2. It's never too late to learn something new. I can't believe I'd never sewn a cargo pocket before, and perhaps a BurdaStyle pattern was not the best place to start. But I persevered, and I won't hesitate to try something new, even at this late stage in my sewing game. Thanks for watching.